This is the ND3, the latest revision of the 4th gen Miata. But I feel like I must start by referring to myself as the elephant in the room.
Ah, okay.
Because I am just too big for these cars. And every time I'm in an MX5, I am so torn because I like them and I don't fit in them.
We're both 6'3", but my torso is weirdly shorter than Todd's. And so I barely fit with the top up. This is about the only way you can fit.
My head touches all the time. All of the time.
Either way, over here still sucks. I'm reminded
yes, it's
how
bad.
awful it is to sit over here, how uncomfortable I am. It's really awesome. I mean, have fun.
Yeah, and
you're the only one having fun
I'm
here.
uncomfortable now, but I'm loving it. This is the other part of the equation. Mazda keeps making this car, and they keep refining this car. And this ND3, this 3rd revision, is excellent.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like they've solved the #1 problem I had driving-wise, and that is it had a lot of body roll. This is the RF Club, and even the Club versions prior had more body roll than this, I feel like. It still has a lot, because that's what Mazda wanted for this car, but it feels controllable and worthwhile now. They've revised the steering rack, they've revised the limited slip differential, but the ergonomics of the driving implements, that's the only way I can think of to put it, are perfect.
Great cars, great roads, and all the reasons we love to drive. Road trips, comparisons, test drives, and podcasts. This is Everyday Driver.
Can I complain about the hump over here?
Please.
There's a hump in the floor, there's a hump in the instrument panel here. There's nothing to grab onto. I mean, come on, Mazda. Give me some OSGs over here or something. You know what the car does, right?
This is a car for the driver, full stop.
Yeah.
It's not a car for the passenger. And somehow, I feel like this one is worse for passengers than they've ever been.
Only the handbrake. You can only grab this.
Don't grab
wrong
that.
thing to hang.
Don't grab that.
Hang onto. It's not fun over here. It's only designed for one person, unless you're just planning on cruising along and straight lining everything.
But there's still not enough space over there for a passenger. I mean, it is funny that as much as I can't believe they've made this, they've also continued to make a car that now is almost a one-seater.
Well, what is good are the Recaros.
Oh, yes.
This has the BBS, Bilstein, Brembo, Recaro package. All the brands, and they truly make this car great.
Yes.
It's on the Club version, so this is the RF Club, and we think the RF is the best looking Miata.
Fantastic.
Can I keep saying Miata? I keep saying Miata.
Yes.
It's a Miata, right?
It's interchangeable. It really is. Yep.
It's the best looking Miata it's ever been.
Yes.
It's gorgeous. They've even refined the front styling a little bit. Have you noticed the ND2 second gen iteration? Variant?
The first revision?
I like reversion.
First reversion, excellent.
I like that better.
They're getting there, yes.
They have those angled LEDs, which are okay. The front on this is much better, and they
cleaner.
Illuminate that the entire thing is the turn signal when you change lanes. It's clean, it looks good, it's a classic. It's just a one-seater classic.
It's a one-seater classic. I never thought I'd say that, but the Miata, now available in one-seater trim.
Nothing has changed about the power. Still 181 horsepower, 7,000 RPM, and 151 at 4,000 RPM. But it's only carrying 2,500 pounds of weight.
This is pretty much the lightest car on sale, and it continues to show how great lightness is in a car.
Really does.
And this just is defiant of everything else. This is such a counterpoint to the sea of roughly 4,000 pounds, gray or silver, 5-door CUVs.
Yes,
Unfortunately, it's in this color. I'm going to say something that is going to be profound here to come from me, but this color is so bad, I would rather it was silver.
Ooh.
I would take it in white over this color right here. That's how much I dislike this, like, zircon sand metallic something. I don't care what you call it. Bad is the result.
Now the cabin's full of zircon sand.
Yes, it is.
Driving in California, it's that fine dust.
Yes.
Maybe that was the inspiration, but this poor car does not deserve this color. It needs to be bright and cool and fun because the rest of the car is so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
The interior is unchanged. The screen is now bigger than it's ever been, and it's mounted in a good spot. It doesn't dominate, but it's still necessary. It's larger. It looks great. And, you know, little refinements around the car, and that's what Mazda has always done. And as I look at the styling, I sit here, we've driven it, I just think about the next generation. And I just hope this never goes away, because to get the lightness that we talk about, it's always going to have to be tiny.
Agreed, yes.
You can't build an even slightly larger car without increasing the weight dramatically. Well, that's the issue.
Yes, and from the NC, the 3rd gen, to the ND, this 4th gen, the car got smaller and lighter. I think that's the only car in the history of us doing this show that from one generation to the next got smaller and lighter. So that is profound.
Amazing.
But of course that means there's trade-offs.
Okay, so hopefully no trade-offs in the future. Hopefully it just continues on like this. If it becomes hybrid or maybe EV, they have to keep that same recipe, but I can't see that.
I want them to keep it light, and that's the hard part. It does feel light. Yes, I agree with that. The RF is such a great looking car. I think it's going to age so well. And I'm amazed they even did a 3rd revision within one generation.
Of the same generation.
That seems rare as well, but it isn't just name only. They have revised it. It is improvements, and to your point, it's subtle stuff, but it's the right subtle stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to drive.
All right.
And I'm going to fold myself in over there.
Have fun with that.
Yeah. Enormous compared to the car.
See, I can get in okay. This is going to be entertaining.
You're going to need to give me a sec.
It's okay.
Because I got to find a place for legs.
There's much more space over here.
There's a lot more over there. And I mean, I'm really not exaggerating. It's just, I got to do it slow because of the hump that pushes my legs to the right. And my knees are against the dash. And I'm going to double check it. Yeah, the seat's as far back as it goes. So,
I mean, once you're in over here, the driving position is actually quite great. But everything over there is sacrificed.
The driving position over there is absolutely right.
Yeah.
Our issue is just being too vertically tall, but the position's great, ergonomics are awesome. This has been sacrificed for sure.
You know, as soon as I started driving this, I knew there were significant changes. It's not just a slight amount. The steering rack is brand new. Completely new, revised rack, combined with that LSD that you referenced. They are turning the car with a brand new design for their limited slip. They've introduced on corner entry, it starts to lock up. It straightens the car out. That means less oversteer. And then when you're accelerating into a corner, it releases and therefore introduces less understeer. With this steering rack, it's one of the most superb driving experiences I've ever felt.
I agree with you.
It's truly different than other Miatas that I've felt. MX5, sorry. When you chuck it in, add power,
it's superb.
I don't think the other Miatas have felt as clean as this one does the corners. They're not fighting anything. I mean, they've got the benefits of small cars, short wheelbase, really lightweight, but this one just feels so clean through corners. The driving experience has changed, and changed for the better over here.
And it wasn't like it was bad prior. That's the thing about it.
How did they do that?
It's refinements that have made it even better. I know the concept is that a journalist always says the next version is better.
Yeah.
We have often come out and said the last version was better. And this one, when it came out, I didn't like it enough. And over time, they've made it superb.
Yes.
Honestly. The only real... other than space. The only real critique I have otherwise, because I love the RF to look at, when you go Targa, you have buffeting issues. I don't care who you are, I don't care what the design is. This has a lot of buffeting, especially right here at the B pillar. There's a lot of noise when you're anything over 60 miles an hour, which we are often. That is the only reason I get the soft top, is to cool that off a little bit. There's so much noise.
Agreed.
But either way, it looks great, and you're chucking it in, and you can.
You know, it occurs to me that Mazda has refined this car like Porsche does to all of their models.
That's fair.
They bring the next one out and we think, it can't be a better 911. How can it be a better 911? And truly, you get in and you think, how, really? Minutia? Because we're talking about minimal kinds of mechanical things.
You're right.
But it is translated into such a pure modern driving experience. This is the best handling car in the market.
That's a big statement, and I think you're right. It's so good.
Name all the other supercars out there. They're impressive.
Yeah.
But from just a pure driving experience, this is is astounding.
This is hard to beat. I mean, the GR86 we love, and it is similar to this, but even it isn't this small, which is amazing.
And it's got these tubby back seats back there.
I mean, I fit in that one, and I love it, but I take your point, yes.
I mean, you're going to just enjoy every single corner because it's so different, and you can play with it. The car's so narrow, you've got all this choice. Choose your racing line. There's the wet line, there's the normal line, there's the student line, there's the race line.
Yes.
And then there's like 10 other Miata lines through the corner. Choose one.
This is as close to my Lotus Elise driving experience as you can buy in the modern time.
100%. I agree. But it's got the refinements that your Elise is missing.
That it does not have and never will. I totally agree.
Fantastic car. Okay, so if you've been waiting to buy an MX5, this is the one to get.
Just not this color.
Just not this color.
Oh,
Environment.
There's a new one. It
blends.
It may as well be earth, but not good earth. Like, is that muddy? I'm not sure. It's that kind of earth.
Unsanitized bowling shoe, interior leather funk.
That doesn't roll off the tongue, but I get the point. That is the color. I take that point. Bowling shoe funk isn't bad.
Let's see. Stale graham cracker.
Maybe.
Stale chocolate. You know, the Haze.
Chocolate haze might work.
Chocolate Haze.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
There you go, Mazda. A freebie. Chocolate haze. Don't get this color. Oh, it's awful.